Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Viz, and welcome today to the latest episode in our Squad Builder series. And as I'm sure you guys can tell by the top left corner, we have Brazil today. Now, this was a pretty fun squad overall to play with. There are a lot of pacey players, a lot of 5-star skillers, and I feel like that's just kind of a commonality, if that's a word, amongst a lot of Brazilian players that I run across in this game. I know that also the Brazilian defenders are some of the best and the paciest and probably the most overpowered in the game. So without further ado, I introduce to you guys our Brazil squad. Now I'm going to start with introducing the bench really quick. Actually, let me make a quick comment about the starting 11. I'm going to show you guys what I originally built and how the team looked as I first built it. And then I'm going to show you guys the squad that I ended up preferring of all these players, including the players in the bench. So, who do we have in the bench? We have Wellington, Lucas, Aninho, Kelvin, Jusilai, Zilao, and Dante. A very solid bench. We have 4 silver players, and there are actually a lot of silver players in the squad, several gold players, a few team of the season players, and several informs. So, overall, I actually liked all of these players on this bench. Only, let me see, 3 of them do not make it into the final starting 11. So, all right, without further ado, let's get into the starting 11. Starting at goalkeeper for us, we have Artur Moraes. And this guy overall, I really enjoyed him. For 118k, it was kind of what I expected. He has 87 diving, 87 handling, 86 reflexes, and 88 positioning. Those are all fantastic stats for an overall rated 86 card. There were a couple goals that he let in that had me scratching my head just a little bit, but overall, great player. And if you're looking for kind of a more expensive Brazilian keeper to play with, I would certainly recommend this dude. So moving on to our 3 center backs, we have Thiago Silva, Naldo, and Felipe Santana. And ooh, man, I think you guys can all agree with me that these are probably 3 of the most overpowered center backs in the game. All of them have fantastic heading. Naldo 78 heading, Felipe Santana 84, and then Thiago Silva has 82. They all have really high pace for center backs. You can see Thiago Silva has 82, Naldo 74, and Felipe Santana at 81. Now, I think Naldo was the only center back of my 5 center backs that I have in this squad to score me goals off of corners. And he scored me 3 in 9 games, which is pretty good for a center back. And overall, a very, very, very solid defense. Moving on to our CDM positions, we have David Luiz and Marcos Assunção. And I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names for any of you Brazilians out there. I don't speak Portuguese. They speak Portuguese in Brazil, right? I think so. Well, anyway, my Portuguese certainly is not up to snuff, so I do apologize if I do mispronounce any names. I do, however, try and pronounce them to the best of my abilities. But anyway, I played David Luiz on the left side, or the right side, because he is left-footed, and the opposite for Marcos. And overall, these were two pretty solid CDMs. One thing about David Luiz was he has a high attacking work rate and a low defending work rate, and that meant that a lot of times he got pushed really far upfield, and it left like a gaping hole in the midfield to allow through which the other team was several times able to start a counterattack off which they were able to score. So that was pretty frustrating. But Marcos Assunção, on the other hand, was much better in playing that kind of more CDM position instead of pushing up too far. And I think maybe part of that had to do with his pace. He only has 55 pace, which is not spectacular. But look at that passing. 87 passing is absolutely spectacular for a CDM, especially a 74 rated silver card. And the other thing about Marcos is he has fantastic free kicks. All of his free kick stats are over 90. And I think they might actually be a little higher than that. But anyway, I actually scored 1 free kick with him that was it was in pretty close, and I didn't expect to score it. But I was able to dink one post in. So anyway, pretty solid CDM pairing overall. On to the left mid position. Who else are we going to play other than Neymar? Obviously, I think he's kind of a no-brainer at this position. 91 pace, 91 dribbling, absolutely fantastic. 5-star skills and 4-star weak foot, and 98k, which surprised me when I bought him, because this late in the game, a lot of players' prices have just tanked, but I feel like Neymar is one of those players whose overall prices still stayed pretty high. I scored 4 goals in 9 games with him, which is pretty good from the left mid position. I would expect a few more if I played him in more of a left wing or left forward position, but yeah, really, really like Neymar. He was maybe my favorite player in this squad. And then on the right mid, we have Maicon Leite. 90 pace and 75 dribbling are his 2 standout stats, and 5-star skills. Now, overall, as you can see, I didn't score any goals with Maicon Leite, and honestly, I did not like him whatsoever at the right mid position. His 3-star left foot felt more like maybe a 2-star left foot to me, because the difficulty that I had was I would be busting down the right wing with him, and I would try and cut in and take a shot, and his left foot was absolutely atrocious, and I was never able to get the ball onto his strong foot and to take a shot, and I personally not a huge fan of Maicon Leite. I've seen some players who can do some absolutely, like actual players who can do incredible things with him in FIFA, but I am not one of those people. Moving on to our center attacking mid position, we have second in form Ronaldinho. And this guy, bit of a love-hate relationship with this guy. So I'll give you guys the negatives first. First of all, he has a low attacking and low defending work rate. So he would just kind of lollygag around the midfield oftentimes. But when he did make that nice attacking run, he would make some pretty nice runs. Which kind of leads to my second negative, is that he only has 62 pace. And so a lot of times I would play him through a really nice over-the-top ball or something like that, but a lot of times team or defenders were able to catch up with him just because he has 62 pace, which was really frustrating, because if this man had like over 70 or like 70 plus pace, he would be an absolutely fantastic card. 86 shooting, 89 passing, 91 dribbling, 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, just overall make for a pretty awesome card. 190k I paid for him, which is kind of a lot, but I gotta say, I did really enjoy the card, so I would pay that money for him again. 3 goals in 9 games isn't a ton from the center attacking mid position, but there were a lot of stars in this squad, and the goals were kind of spread out amongst all of them, so it was really difficult to focus on just one player and trying to get clips and goals with just one player. So moving on to our striker pair, we have Alexandre Pato and Wallison. And again, I had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Alexandre Pato. Overall, he has a pretty solid card, but the reason I was struggling was, well, honestly, I don't know the reason I was struggling. I was not scoring goals with him in situations where I felt I should score. But then in the later games, I finally was able to score some more goals. 6 overall goals in 10 games. That's okay. I expected it to maybe be a little higher for the in-form Alexandre Pato. But overall, I enjoyed the card, but I would certainly not pay 290k for him. I think that for the most part, you can get his 83 rated card and do almost everything that his 84 rated card can do. And I'm pretty sure you can get it for probably around 2,000 at this point in the game. So, and moving on to Wallison, I have absolutely nothing positive to say about Wallison. Yes, he has some pretty good pace, 88 pace, but everything else I just wasn't a big fan of. 5-star skill moves is pretty nice. You can abuse that running scoop turn, but as you can see, I only scored 1 goal in 8 games with him, which is absolutely awful from the striker position, and especially when you pay 87.5k for a player. That's awful. So that kind of segues nicely into what my final starting 11 looked like. And instead of playing Wallison, I ended up preferring to play Wellington. And when I would play these 2 guys up top, I would play Pato on the right side, or on the left side, sorry, so that I could cut in and take those nice finesse shots and just regular shots as well with his just fantastic right foot. It's a really pacey striker combo. I actually did get a few messages after games telling me that I was like, oh, you pace abuser, blah, 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 but whatever. But I don't know. Honestly, I just laugh at those when I get them. Moving on, I left Ronaldinho at the center attacking mid position. I for the most part, really enjoyed him there. Left Neymar at the left mid position. Really enjoyed him there. But Mike Onliete was not the player I preferred at his position. I preferred Kelvin. He was a little slower, but still has 5-star skills, but has a preferred left foot, which made things. I was much more comfortable with him there. I didn't score any goals with him, but I was just overall more comfortable with him at that position. Didn't end up playing with David Luiz just because of his work rates. He would get pushed up too far, and like I said, just leave gaping holes in the defense at sometimes. And I played Jusilai. Jusilai overall has just fantastic stats for a 74 rated silver. 80 pace, 75 dribbling, 64 shooting, 72 defending, 74 passing, and 70 heading are spectacular. And 4-star skill moves, which is awesome. He scored me 1 goal in 9 games, not super spectacular, but then again, he is a CDM. And I had a couple changes in the center backs as well. Didn't end up playing Felipe Santana in the final starting 11. And this is what it ended up being. Had Naldo on the left side, Dante in the middle, and Thiago Silva on the right side. And these guys just made for an absolutely fantastic defense. Really high pace, absolutely like just godlike defending stats. You can see here Thiago Silva and Dante both have 88 defending. And these guys were just a bastion of defense. They were a wall, and a lot of times there were a couple games where I didn't let up a single goal, which was definitely thanks to these guys. And Zalao is actually a really fantastic player, and his stats, for considering he's a 69 overall, are crazy. 73 pace, 71 defending, and 81 heading on a 69 rated center back. Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys with some goals. Let me know down in the comments if there's any players that you would have changed or you would have preferred, or something that I missed out or you recommend that I try out at some point later in the game. But until next time, guys, my name is Viz. Peace out. Take it easy.
Living a lush life with back all my friends, and so I two-step shuffle with the help of boogie down music. And it doesn't matter dancing by myself, cause the drink's all cold, the girls all rolled, and we got a few fans at our shows. They sing along, come on, you could never call it wrong. That's why we put our hearts in the song. I see some women looking fly in the distance. They ask me why I'm grinning, and I give them my opinion. Listen, cause life's all about what you do, not what you didn't. So go outside and start living. It's popping up.